Lesson 13 for March 21 to 27, From Dust to Stars, read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Thursday, March 26, The Waiting Time. Question, read Daniel 12, verses 5 to 13. How does the book conclude? Then I, Daniel, looked, and there stood two others, one on this river bank and the other on that river bank. And one said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, How long shall the fulfilment of these wonders be? Then I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives for ever, that it shall be for a time, times, and half a time, and when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all these things shall be finished. Although I heard, I did not understand. Then I said, My Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified, made white and refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away, and the abomination of desolation is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits, and comes to the 1,335 days. But you, go your way till the end, for you shall rest, and will arise to your inheritance at the end of the days. Interestingly, this final scene takes place at the river, or the Tigris, the place of Daniel's last major vision, as we saw in Daniel 10, verse 4. However, the word used here is not the common Hebrew word for river, but the term Yeor, which usually designates the Nile River. This reminds us of the Exodus and shows that just as the Lord redeems Israel from Egypt, he will redeem his end-time people. 3 prophetic timetables are given. The first one, a time, times, and half a time, answers the question, How long shall the fulfilment of these wonders be? In Daniel 12, verse 6. The wonders refers to the things depicted in the vision of Daniel 11, which are an elaboration of Daniel 7 and 8. More specifically, this time period was mentioned in Daniel 7:25 and later in Revelation 11:3, Revelation 12:6, Revelation 12:14, and Revelation 13, verse 5. It also corresponds to the 1,260 years of papal supremacy, which extended from AD 538 to 1798. And Daniel 11:32-35 refers to the same persecution without mentioning its duration. The other two time periods, 1,290 and 1,335 days, answer a question, What shall be the end of these things? Posed by Daniel himself to the man clothed in linen. And both begin with the removal of the daily and the setting up of the abomination of desolation. From the lesson on Daniel 8, we learn that the daily refers to the continual intercession of Christ, which was replaced with a counterfeit worship system. Thus, this prophetic period should start in AD 58, when Clovis, king of the Franks, converted to the Catholic faith. This important event paved the way for the union between church and state, which held sway throughout the Middle Ages. Hence, 1,290 days ends in 1798, when the Pope was arrested by the French Emperor Napoleon, and the 1,335 days, the last prophetic period mentioned in Daniel, ended in 1843. This was the time of the Millerite movement and renewed study of the biblical prophecies. It was a time of waiting and hope in the coming of Jesus. And so to finish today, all through Daniel we see two things, God's people persecuted and God's people ultimately vindicated and saved. How can this reality help us seek to stay faithful regardless of our immediate trials? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind and Hearing Impaired, Christian Record Services for the Blind, the Sabbath School Department, and Hope Channel. You can also listen on the official Sabbath School 4 app and the Apple iTunes app Sabbath School with Percy Harrold. Remember, God is always faithful.